How did this 10-hour long Maid Sama video not get taken down off YouTube? I have no idea. But what I do know is that I went down memory lane recently. Maid Sama is one of those animes that came out during the early 2010s, right? It's one of those shoujo animes that only had one season and it never got rebooted or had another season ever again. The manga is complete, but I won't be diving into that. Today, I'm just going to skim over and look through everything that I missed out on during my first watch as a kid and how rewatching it made me feel, whether I liked it, whether I think it's still enjoyable or not. Now, you might have heard tons of people who are revisiting this anime point out and focus a lot on this shady character right here, Usui Takumi. A whole ass red flag, right? I'll be honest, I didn't know what everyone meant by that till I rewatched Maid Sama, and oh my god. This man is messy. He is possessive and touchy-feely. I get it, I see it now, and I can't believe that I didn't register his shady behavior before. He needs to learn to keep his hands to himself, right? Like, I cannot believe that it just never registered how creepy he was. Though there were some romantic gestures here and there, I do feel like his perverted writing messed up one of my favorite tropes in romance sappy movies, books, and animes, and that is the "he fell in love with her first" trope. Like, this trope could have worked really well in Maid Sama, and it does in some shape or form, but really, if they cut down a lot of his touchy moments, him randomly giving Misa a fucking hickey and all this other stuff without her consent, I think I would have liked him a little bit better, and I think he would have come off a little bit more romantic. He just comes off like a really weird stalker, like she says.
Let me change so I can go home.
I'll help you change.
Get out.
And now, listen, this is not a smear campaign against Usui. You can ship Usui and Misa and whatever. I'm not trying to convince you otherwise. I'm just pointing out that I see it. I understand it now. He definitely is a red flag, and it did not register when I was younger. This villain character from another school, he is so ridiculous and over the top. Also, in episode 2, Misa talks about how she doesn't want boys from class 202 specifically setting up a haunted house because they were dressing up as monsters and running and latching onto girls, chasing them all around the school trying to grab them. And one of them does mistakenly grab Misa. Then there's the 2 customers of Maid Latte that kidnap Misa and are just being fucking creepy.
You're the perfect maid. We've been watching you this entire time. Even when you ignored us and talked to other guys.
This dude from the other school, like I was mentioning, he's talking like he's a man in his 30s, pimping out chicks or something. Boy, you're 16. Shut the fuck up.
Get whatever girl I want, whenever I want. But I'm getting sick of the meek, obedient types.
Even this boy band guy is portrayed as a sleazebag.
You? I despise you! I'll never hand Sakura over to a piece of trash like you!
The girls in this universe and Yukimura have it rough. Yukimura gets harassed a lot as well, since he is perceived as more feminine. You know, he's seen as a femboy, and a lot of the times the boys just mistake him as a girl. And so they harass him as well, or he ends up in these really crazy situations, and I feel for this character so much.
But I am a boy, though.
Not to mention, he also gets sexually harassed by Usui. Like, Usui kisses him out of nowhere, and this man is forever scared of Usui. Whenever Usui shows up in the student council office or classroom, he runs away from Usui because he's so scared. He's like, why is he here? What's he gonna do to me now?
Snap out of it!
Yukimura! Yukimura!
Oh, and I almost forgot. There's also this incel character, Kano, who learns to get over his fear of girls. I think he just needed to be socialized a bit, and that's it, you know? Another thing that I didn't pick up on was a gender non-conforming representation through this middle school character right here, Aoi. He is introduced as a blonde, bratty Lolita fashion-loving blogger who's somewhat of an online influencer. Maybe famous, maybe not. Aoi tries to seduce Usui in episode 4, and I was like, child, get your ass back to school. Like, why are you trying to seduce a high schooler? By the end of the episode, we learn that Aoi is actually biologically boy, and that his father has kicked him out because he doesn't approve of Aoi.
Comes to things that are pretty or cute, apparently I'm not allowed to like them, because that's not what boys are supposed to like. That's why everyone hates me, why no one will ever like me.
Really? But I like you a lot.
I love the fact that his story and his struggles are taken seriously by Misa, and it's one of the biggest reasons why I started falling in love with Misaki, because she does acknowledge other people's hardships, right? Every time I rewatch a shoujo from the past, I find myself falling in love with the female leads more than I did when I was younger, and acknowledging them more than my male childhood crushes, right? It's something about how these women are written. I just didn't realize how amazing their personalities were before, right? I was brainwashed or something. I don't know, okay? I found myself very annoyed by Usui later in the anime when he gets in the way of Misaki and Aoi winning the volleyball tournament. What was Usui's reason? Simply because he didn't want Misaki winning and posing for photos in her bikini at the tournament. Girl, are you for real? Like, what was at stake here? It was Aoi's freedom of expression to dress the way he wants and to go back home, right? His family is not very supportive, but in this situation, one of his aunts was willing to talk to Aoi's dad and get him to understand him. She was going to help Aoi get back home, maybe. And the deal was if only Aoi wins this volleyball tournament to prove his manliness or whatever that means. Right? Winning meant everything to Aoi, and it seemed like the only person who understood this was Misa. She was the only one who was passionate about it, as Aoi was. Sweet was just being selfish, right? Sorry for the comparison, but Tamaki would never! One of the best traits of Tamaki was that he would always help people. Knowing him, he would have arranged for everyone in the host to compete for and with Aoi to make them win. So during this rewatch, a lot of my attention was on Misaki. Misaki has a sad story like most protagonists. Her dad ran away from home, left the mom to raise 2 daughters on her own. Her distrust for men comes from this. She's sweet and caring, even turns into a host member towards her friends when she's complimenting them.
Nothing. I was just thinking about how cute the two of you are.
She always has her friends' backs and works hard to restore order to the chaotic high school she's attending. She's resilient, passionate, a hard worker, punctual, firm, and admirable. She receives a lot of misogynistic aggression from her classmates in 2. They refuse to collaborate with her because they view her as bossy, rude, and so forth. But these guys wouldn't really listen to her if she asked nicely either. It's kind of annoying, honestly. They try to frame her as someone that needs to smile more, and at a certain point, I was checked out. Like, leave Misa alone. My queen is perfect. Also, episode 3 with the whole sibling roleplay thing at Maid Latte. Yeah, that shit was super weird. I'm not even gonna try and defend it. Like, it was strange as heck. Like, it was really weird. And I do appreciate how Misa appropriately reacted to the whole idea. Cause yes, girl, you're valid for finding it weird. I actually enjoyed seeing the 3 idiots. They were like the comedy relief, and they were fun to see, how they were so really into Misa. It was really cute. They added that lighthearted tone whenever shit got a tad bit serious or weird. It sucks that every time they saved up money to meet Misa, she wasn't there. So, poor guys. I realized during my rewatch that Maid Sama actually doesn't have too much of a story going on in the anime, as much as there's a lot of side plots happening and quick resolutions. Usually the formula for this anime stays the same in the sense that there'll be some sort of very quick, very low stake, other than the Aoi situation, low stakes situation that's revealed. Usually it has to do with Misa's identity being almost exposed as a maid, and then Usui coming in helping her, and yeah, that's usually how it goes. It's usually Misa's identity is going to be exposed. She tries to do something about it. Maybe she's not successful, and so Usui comes in and saves the day. and then sexually harasses her in the process. For 26 episodes, I do feel like it was lacking a lot of adventure. I do feel like they could have done more with it. The thing is, because this is a romance, I guess 26 episodes, they usually don't make a lot of stuff happen, but I just feel like in 26 episodes, a whole lot of shit happens in other anime. The things that I absolutely enjoyed about Maid Sama were definitely Misa. She was fun. The three idiots, they were absolutely fun to watch. Usui here and there when he wasn't being a creep was enjoyable. When he was being tame, there were moments where he was sweet, but then there were moments where I was like, bro, back up. In conclusion, I think that Maid Sama was a sufficient rewatch, although I'd be lying if I said that I 101% would rewatch it again. I've always felt as if Maid Sama was missing that secret something. You know, I think that the anime at least could have been more popular if they had something, maybe like a villain or something to achieve. It just felt like whatever snippet you got to see in the anime wasn't enough to hook people's interest, and so very few people went to read the manga, and maybe that's why it never got a season 2. I don't know, I'm just speculating. The heck do I know? I'm still waiting for Oran season 2, even though that might never ever happen. Yeah, Maid Sama was fun. My love for Misaki grows, and Usui was and is a perv. See you in my next video. Bye bye.